Prayer is an invocation or act that seeks to activate a rapport with an object of worship through deliberate communication. In the narrow sense, the term refers to an act of supplication or intercession directed towards a deity, a god, or a deified ancestor. Prayer is, in the Christian faith and in many other spiritual traditions, a way of being and a way of relating. Prayer is a way of being in the moment, being present, being open. It is a way of learning to be ourselves. Prayer is a way of relating to God, to ourselves, to those around us. We can use prayer as a way of opening our hearts to God, not as a being living in an extra-dimensional heaven, but as the wellspring of creative energy within us and the universe. By quieting our minds, we can open ourselves to experience this divine ground directly. This is the confidence we have in approaching God, that if we ask anything according to His will, He hears us. Then Jesus told His disciples a parable to show them that they should always pray and not give up. As you can see, the Bible does command us to pray and tells us what it does. God does not need our help. Whatever words we want to use to describe it, the clear reality found in Scripture is that God doesn't need anything, including our help. We turn to prayer because it is the most personal way to experience God, to encounter Him and to grow in knowledge of Him. According to the book of Ephesians, God's desire is for us to pray on all occasions with all kinds of prayers and requests. Ephesians 6:18. I hope they will encourage you to make 2020 a year of prayer. Know to whom you are speaking. Thank Him. Ask for God's will. Say what you need. Ask for forgiveness. Pray with a friend. Pray the Word. The necessity of prayer for the realization of salvation is brought to light in the acts and teachings of Jesus. Thus, He exhorted His disciples to pray always and not lose heart. If Holy Mass is the highest form of Christian prayer, it must be of absolute necessity for any Christian that are worth the name. One day Jesus was praying in a certain place. When He finished, one of His disciples said to Him, "Lord, teach us to pray, just as John taught his disciples." He said to them, "When you pray, say, 'Father, hallowed be your name, your kingdom come.'" Prayer is one of the most important things a Christian and Muslim can do. It is a time they are communicating with God, and it should be taken very seriously. While there's deep theological meaning in prayer, it doesn't have to be something that is complicated and difficult. The act of prayer links every human being with God. However, the most important attribute of prayer resides in its ability to let us become part of the great cosmological interdependence created by God. Our prayers put us in direct communication not only with the Absolute Being, but also other creatures of the world. There is a very good reason, however, for why God tells us to worship Him. Many will tell you that we should worship God because it is a natural response to His mightiness, His holiness, and His undying love. I think the Old Testament supports that God needs worshippers. Contrarily, He didn't command prayer or worship. How to get closer to God. Prayers for the year. Grab a sheet of paper, a pen, and some time to think. Verse for the month. Every month select a verse to memorize and pray over your family. Hour for the week. Devote 1 hour a week to spiritual education. Routine for the day. Create a brief yes brief. You must pray in faith, believing. The Bible speaks of bowing in prayer, kneeling on one's face before God, standing, sitting and walking. The most important thing isn't the position of the body, but the condition of the soul. If the heart is attuned to God, one can pray in any posture imaginable. Whoever would draw near to God must believe that He exists and that He rewards those who seek Him. Hebrews 11:6. God Himself is our greatest reward. And when we have Him, we have everything. Therefore, seek the Lord in His strength. Seek His presence continually. Some traditions hold that grace and thanksgiving imparts a blessing which sanctifies the meal. The term comes from the ecclesiastical Latin phrase gratiarum actio, act of thanks. In Christian theology, the act of saying grace is derived from the Bible, in which Jesus and St. Paul pray before meals. An oracle is an utterance, a spokesman or mouthpiece. God speaks through preachers and teachers, but He can also speak through our spouse, kids, friends and even enemies. God uses human channels to speak words of prophecy, tongues and interpretation, and words of wisdom and knowledge. 1 Cor. 12:8-10. Said prayers are prayers that are well known, such as the Lord's Prayer, which most Christians will know by heart. The Lord's Prayer is recited in most Christian services and is a prayer which Jesus used to help teach his followers to pray. In the book of Matthew, 12:31-32, we read, "Therefore I say to you, any sin and blasphemy shall be forgiven man, but blasphemy against the Spirit shall not be forgiven." I believe that God can forgive all sins provided the sinner is truly contrite and has repented for his or her offenses. Yet a time is coming and has now come when the true worshippers will worship the Father in spirit and truth, for they are the kind of worshippers the Father seeks. God is spirit, and his worshippers must worship in spirit and truth. John 4:23-24. Religion attracts all kinds of rules. Please leave a comment or suggestion, and if you find this video helpful and informative, consider to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell to be updated for new videos. Thanks for watching.